So today in this video, I'm gonna give you guys a different perspective for having a condition of home inspection in your offers, whether you're a buyer or a seller. So at the end of this video, I'll share with you guys a story that I personally went through that really should give sellers an idea of what the worst case scenario would be when you do put these type of conditions in the offer. When you have a home inspection condition as a buyer, that protects you to make sure that the home is in good condition and it matches what you're expecting it to be when you put an offer in. As a buyer, you're blind to this home. You have not lived in this home. You have not had any experience in this home. You don't know what's been changed and all these type of renovations that have been done inside the home. So when you have an inspection clause in there, which basically states that you are allowed to back out of the deal if you find something in the home inspection, which you're able to hire your own home inspector for, and really go through the property to make sure that this property is what you're thinking that it should be. So having a conditional home inspection is mainly to protect the buyers. And the buyers have this in there because they allow their home inspector, whoever they hire, to go through the home and make sure that everything is what they expect it to be and everything is working properly. So having this kind of condition in there, it protects the buyer because they can back out of the deal if the home inspector finds something that is needed to be looked at or maybe has to be changed from the seller. Another way to look at this home inspection condition is it also gives the buyer leverage to, change the price or have certain things changed in the home before the offer was accepted by the seller. And what I mean by that is, let's say, for example, you find mold in the attic. What that allows you to do as a buyer now is you can go to the seller and say, hey, you have two options, or three really. But the first option here is, I'll accept it as is, no problem, nothing needs to be done. The second option is, hey, I want you guys to fix the problem to make this deal firm before closing. And the third option is I'll take the house, but we want X amount off the price now because we know that this exists in the home. So again, it allows you guys leverage to be able to change what's already been accepted. It's not like that's a good thing for the seller, but again, that allows you to run through everything with a fine-tooth comb and really have these answers instead of guessing. Now let's talk about it from the seller's point of view. I already went through the negatives that you could go through with the buyer, that maybe they want to change the price, they want you to do the work, whatever it is. But it also just allows buyers to have confidence in your home too. If you know you have a clean property, there's nothing needed to be changed. When you get a home inspection done beforehand, this gives you guys a lot of benefits to be able to get a certain price, and it gives the buyers confidence to give this price and not needing a condition in there. So I would advise that homes that maybe are a little bit older but have been renovated, do a home inspection in the property beforehand so that you can give your property the best chance to sell for the highest value. So here's a little story that I went through for a property in York region. I'm not going to give any addresses, but this was a nightmare for my seller client, all because we trusted the buyer agent to do their process without hiding anything at all. So I was selling a property that is not a home that people would just move right into. The property I was actually selling was more so for builders who wanted to buy the lot and knock that property down more so to be able to build whatever size house that they wish, whether it's semi-detached or detached. But what was there already was just a detached home. So it was one property. So basically what happened was the agent who went through actually was buying it for himself. And, we weren't hiding anything in the property. We just didn't have any interior pictures of the home because the property wasn't being sold for what the interior was about. It was more so for the lot and the potential that it could be. So anyways, so the buyer goes into the home, they put an offer into the property, they liked it, but they had a condition in there for home inspection and finance. We didn't see any problem with it. I mean, the home inspection condition, again, we're not hiding anything, but having a home inspection condition in there just tells us as sellers that maybe these guys aren't going to knock the property down. Maybe they're going to, live in the property as is. They want to do some renovations, whatever it is. So the seller and I, we were talking about the pros and cons of accepting this price. Everything made sense. We were okay with the buyers doing their home inspection, whatever they needed. So later on down the road, the buyer had a few days to do their home inspection. They waited until the last day to give us the update. And what they said was, we found mold in the property. We want a lower price by $40,000, $50,000. I can't remember what it was. My client said, look, we sold this property how we know it's to be sold. Everything is as is, where is. Take the property as is or back out of the deal. We're totally fine with you backing out. We'll find someone else. The buyer comes back to us and says, oh, well, you know what? You were hiding this from the public. If you don't accept this price with these conditions in there of lowering the price by 40, 50,000, we're going to sue you. Me and my client weren't saying you have to take this property because you gave us a condition and now you can't back out. No, we were saying if you want to back out of the deal, back out. We're not hiding anything, but this is where the property is being sold and this is how the property is being sold. So please move forward if you do want to purchase it, or if not, back out. So the buyer was really pushing us, our backs to the wall, to be able to say, hey, we either have to lower this price or we could potentially get sued. Me and my seller, we were actually very educated about these type of buyers. We did our homework, we spoke to lawyers, and we understood that this buyer may just trying to be squeezing us for a reduction on price, because just to kind of rewind a little bit, the buyer was initially wanting the price that he's now coming forward with, which was $40,000, $50,000 less. But my client was very hesitant on accepting that. So we said, no, you want the property, it has to be this price. And he later accepted it with the condition of home inspection. So anyways, this was his way of getting that original price that my client didn't take. But he thought that he had the leverage to potentially force a situation that could sue my client for hiding something. Nonetheless, he didn't end up winning. He played that game of chicken throughout the whole process of closing, gave letters to my client saying, hey, if you don't reduce this price before closing, we're gonna sue. He tried and tried and tried. We did not budge. On closing, everything happened perfectly. The property closed. That buyer did not end up suing. He didn't get his way, but my client got the price that made sense to him. So just to give you guys an idea of what to avoid when you are out there as a seller and you give this condition to the buyers, they could definitely try and use that against you to try and get a better price, which I don't advise sellers to all assume that this is what's going to be the case, but that could be a worst case scenario. So keep that in mind. If you're not hiding anything, which I don't suggest anybody do, don't hide anything that is mold. Don't paint over mold or anything like that. Don't try and hide these things for home inspections, because that could give you issues. But if you're not hiding anything and you're selling a property like we were, where it's as is, where is, and it's more of a attractive type of property for a builder, just be open about these things. Understand that worst case scenario, there are people out there who try and get these type of deals by forcefully bullying the situation, by just saying, yeah, we're going to sue you. Listen, if they don't have leverage to legally be able to sue you for reasons that make sense in the court, don't be afraid. Stay firm on your price and understand that with the right team behind you of lawyers and realtors, this can all be defended properly and you can get the money that you expected and not get any surprises like this.